Magnet television.
Magnet television.
Magnet television.
You're watching Magnet television because what else are you going to do?
Hey, this is Greg MacPherson, and I'm in a band called Figure Walking. And I'm in my backyard presently. It's my dog, and I'm cooking some barbecue. It's August, and I'm a vegan. Just really love animals. No judgment. Eat what you gotta eat, but eat what you have to eat, and make good choices. Anyway, it's really a pleasure to be speaking on screen like this to the viewers, subscribers of Magnet, and I want to answer some questions for you today. One time I got to do a festival with Vic Chestnut, and we shared a stage at a festival. There's like 4,000 or 5,000 people, though. It was a huge show, and I'm a giant Vic Chestnut fan. He's just was such a gift, and just an incredible musician. And we were asked by the festival to learn cover songs, and I don't know very many cover songs, so I learned just enough. I knew 4 songs for this stage, and we got down to the last song. I didn't think we'd play all 4, but I was down to my last song, and Vic played before me. He was doing his last song, and he pulled out Ode to Bobby Joe by Bobby Gentry, and it was just show-stopping version of it. But he said before he played that he was going to do a Bob Dylan song, but Bob Dylan's so overrated, and he'd already heard about 4 or 5 other artists covering Bob Dylan at that festival, And so I got up to the mic after he did this incredible rendition of that song, and had already, kind of played down Bob Dylan. And the only other song I knew that I could play was a Bob Dylan song. And so this is kind of my favorite song by him. It's called Boots of Spanish Leather. And I got up to the mic and I said, look, if Bob was backed into a corner and he could only play one song to get himself out of it, I think he could pick up Boots of Spanish Leather, and he'd be all right. The album that kind of changed my life, I think, is Silkworm's Developer. And Silkworm's this great band from Missoula, Montana, and I got to see them live a couple times. And that album is so subtle, and the musicianship is it's so expert level. I don't think that there's ever been another album for me that's had as much impact on the way that I think about music. I don't think that my music sounds at all like that album, but just the sound quality, the arrangements, trying to strive for something, it's really listenable. If you haven't heard that album, give it 3 listens. By the 3rd listen, you'll love it. The X played at the Polish Combatants Hall in Toronto, Ontario in 2009, 2010. And they had Getachew Mercurium playing with them on saxophone. It was Eritrean New Year's, so half of the crowd was Eritrean people out to celebrate, and the other half was kind of crusty punks and guys like me. And they had cheap Polish beer, and people danced, and it was probably the most magical, inspiring show I've ever been to. And it was about $8 to get in, and I'll never ever forget it. It was incredible. I've done a number of embarrassing things music-wise, but one that stands out, at least in my memory, is my band was going on tour, and a good friend of ours lives in Kingston, and he's a huge fan of Silkworm, so we learned this Silkworm song, Never Met a Man I Didn't Like, and we got out on the road, and we didn't play it at all until we got to Kingston. And I did this rookie mistake where, I introduced it and everything, and I had played the previous song with a capo on, and I had forgotten to take the capo off. So when we started the song, I started the song in completely the wrong key, and we got pretty far into it before the bass kicks in. And it turned out that the bass player had to transpose on the fly, and it sounded really bad. And he did a good job, but I screwed it up completely. And our friend who was there to watch the show laughed at us, and he's to this day he's been kind of merciless with me about that screw up. Hey, this is Greg MacPherson from Figure Walking, and you're watching Magnet Television.
Cine.